All right. I know the title of this video is a little extra, but please hear me out for what I'm about to say because I'm going to give you an objective analysis between Hyperion and Kronos. So before you leave a comment like this or share this video on the Discord with your friends and not even watch the video and just completely assume everything that I have to say, actually maybe sit down, listen to what I have to say, and you'll probably learn something. Anyways, guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to tell you guys about the new announcement that Nexon just did for Hyperion World Leap event. I'm going to tell you exactly what this means, whether or not you should do it or you should consider it or anything like that. I'm going to give you an objective analysis of both worlds from somebody who has been playing on both worlds since release and has reached endgame on both worlds as well. I've been playing Kronos and Hyperion, both of the heroic servers, since they came out. So I feel I'm in a pretty good position to tell you the differences between the servers and what's better for each specific type of player. Now, right off the bat, a lot of the things that you'll hear about the Hyperion world are just completely untrue, and from people who don't even play on the world. I've seen this phenomenon a lot. Like, trust me, I've seen it so much. Almost every single day, I see some sort of comment that just is completely baseless and is just a way to try and make a person feel better about themselves, to be honest with you. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, I want to remind you guys that subscribing is the best way to support me on this YouTube channel. Pull up to the live stream. It's a lot of fun, and you can interact with the community live, and of course join the Discord. I really appreciate you guys so much. So let's get right into this. The first thing we got to talk about is what is even going on. Like, prepare for a Hyperion World Leap event. Why is this even happening? So Nexon made this post, it's linked down below, where they say that because of Kronos having a super high population, there's a lot of technical challenges and difficulties in maintaining a stable, comfortable gaming environment. Now, what does this mean? So if you've been playing on the Kronos world, you'll know that there have been rollbacks happening, channel crashes, Kronos server maintenances in particular. There's lag and stuff like that. Now, you may not realize it because you've been playing Kronos for the whole time, but the server actually is pretty laggy. When you play on a different server, let's say if you play on Hyperion or if you play on one of the reg servers, it's definitely a lot less laggy, meaning going into portals is less slow, things load in faster, things are less glitchy, all those things. A lot of those things are small, like they're not huge game-breaking levels of lag, but it's still a difference, and it clearly shows that Kronos is laggier. Like, this is just, in my opinion, not really something that is arguable. Like, Kronos is a laggier server than Hyperion, and they're even saying it here. The high population has brought a lot of technical challenges and difficulties in maintaining a stable, comfortable gaming environment. So they're saying that Kronos is not as stable or comfortable to play in. Now, you might think, why don't they just upgrade the servers? Now, I wish that that was the solution. I think that would be a better solution than just creating a new world. But honestly, if you stop and think about it, why do you think that every single game has multiple servers? Why don't they just have one super large server that everybody plays on? Well, it's because server infrastructure doesn't quite work that way. When it comes to like network engineering, creating all these technical aspects to running a large MMO, because MapleStory is growing a lot, it's not as easy as just upgrade the server. It's an exponential cost increase. It's way harder to do that. That's why a lot of servers for a lot of games, think Final Fantasy XIV, WoW, Lost Ark, all these games, they have multiple different servers because it's easier to just create a bunch of servers, run those, and then create ways to interact between the servers without actually having to merge them all. So I think that's why they created the Hyperion world, and it's not as simple as just like upgrade the server. But I do agree, of course, if there was a way to just magically upgrade the server, I think that would be the best solution, right? So their solution, or one of their solutions that they want to help Kronos out, is they've prepared a special event where you can leap your Kronos characters to Hyperion. So what does that mean exactly? It means you can literally transfer your characters from Kronos, any characters you want, seemingly. It's not just like one character or your whole account. It seems to be like specific characters. You could send them to the Hyperion world. Now, just so we're on the same page here, Heroic Hyperion and Heroic Kronos are the exact same game mode. There is zero differences between these servers. It's not the same as going to an interactive world where there's trading and stuff like that. Hyperion and Kronos are literally the exact same game. So if you're sitting here wondering like, should I go on Hyperion? Hyperion, like I kind of like playing on Reboot. No, like it also is Reboot. It's the exact same game. It's just another server for it. And then they say, by offering this option, we aim to address the inconveniences caused by the excessive population density in Kronos and revitalize Hyperion, thereby fostering better overall server balance and a more enjoyable gaming experience. So I've heard people literally go so far as to say that Kronos is not overpopulated. It definitely is overpopulated. This is not really arguable. They're saying it here themselves that the server excessive population density in Kronos, like that is just a fact. It's not like Kronos doesn't have a lot of people. It has way too many people given how many channels it has and how stable the server is. And revitalize Hyperion, which also says that Hyperion doesn't have as many players as Kronos and it could benefit from having more people on it. So they've created this entire thing where you could send your character to Kronos to Hyperion. You'll still be playing the exact same game. You're just going to be on a less laggy server. And by doing this, it also makes Kronos less laggy because less people are going to be playing on it. So now it begs the question of why would you even transfer? Like who on earth would do this? So we're going to talk about that in a bit, like who would actually want to transfer and why I think this could be a great decision for surprisingly a lot of people if you just actually thought about it logically instead of just being like, lol, fuck Hyperion, like it's just a dead server, who cares, you know what I mean? So they also create a bunch of bonus rewards if you choose to play on Hyperion now. Now, to be honest with you, a lot of these perks don't matter that much. So right off the bat, before we even go over the perks, I want to tell you guys that I would not swap specifically to get these perks. I would swap for other reasons that I'm going to tell you in a bit. But let's go over some of the perks. So perk 1 is Legion Leap Box. Allows players to carry over progress for Legion coins, artifact points, and artifact XP to the new world. So for somebody like me, for example, where I have characters on Kronos and have characters on Hyperion, this is pretty good for me. All my Legion coins that I have on Kronos and all my artifact points and XP are going to be boosted into my Hyperion world, which is actually a lot. So I'm going to get like many tens of thousands of Legion coins, a ton of artifact XP because it's just going to fuse my Kronos shit into my Hyperion world, right? Now, perk number 2, players who world leap from Challenger World to Hyperion will receive additional rewards for reaching Emerald tiers, Emerald and Diamond tier. So you'll get Ultimate Legion Growth Potion 15 instead of 10, which is actually a very, very big deal. So this perk, I think, is the biggest one out of all of them, because if somebody is coming back to the game and they're trying to make a new main or something like that, they could start playing on the Challenger World, which we already know about. I have a different video covering it, which I'll leave down below as well. And if they choose Hyperion, instead of getting 4k Legion from reaching Diamond, you'll get 6k Legion from reaching Diamond. And it's not only just 6k Legion, you'll get 6k Legion with level 200 characters. So you'll also get the bigger blocks and increased raid power even faster, which is really, really good. So I think this perk alone incentivizes a lot of new people to choose Hyperion over Kronos. And perk 3, now this might seem pretty good, but it's not that good because it only lasts for 3 days. But let's go over it anyways. So if you play on Hyperion World during these literally only 3 days, you get bonus rune XP, bonus combo orb, bonus portal XP, Infernal Wolf, monster collection, and 1.5 times item drop rate. Now this would be good if it lasted, I don't know, 3 months or something, but this only lasted 3 days. Like they kind of dropped the ball with this one, to be honest with you. So now they mention what can be transferred during the world leap. So these are the things that can be transferred and what can't be transferred. And it's basically everything. The most concerning one here is it doesn't say that your Hexa progress, your Hexa matrix gets transferred. So for me personally, I think this is just something they didn't think about writing. There's no way that your Hexa matrix doesn't get transferred. That would be fucking crazy. Like that would be absolutely the biggest like grief that Nexon could do, but we'll see. I mean, I hope we get more communication about this because no Hexa matrix would be horrible. Your character inventory gets transferred as well. So like, let's say you have mesos, let's say you have ETC items, but stuff in the cash shop doesn't get exchanged. So if you want to exchange stuff from your cash shop, you have to pull it out, keep it in your decoration tab, and then go. Same with the storage as well. All these other aspects of your character basically are transferred as well, but you can't obviously transfer your guild because it's not the same guild anymore, right? And then a bunch of presets also save. It says link skill presets here and Legion aside member presets. Now, I mean, you would just have to redo this, I guess, but it makes sense. I mean, you're not going to have the same Legionnaire links, but I'm not sure 100% what this is. We still need a little bit more communication about this. So now let's go back and talk about Hyperion and Kronos and what are the main differences between the two servers and who would actually swap. Because honestly, the people that I'm trying to make this video for are not necessarily the people who are already very established on Kronos. For me, the most important thing when playing this game is your community. Whether you're in my community, whether you have your own friend group, whatever it is, I think it's by far the most important aspect to this game is playing with your friends, bossing with your friends, sharing moments with your friends. All of those things are the most important aspect to MapleStory for me. So if you're somebody who plays on Kronos already, you already have all your friends, nobody wants to leave with you, stay. Of course you should stay. You should always stay. I've been saying this about Kronos since day one. Since the moment Hyperion came out, I said the same thing. If you already have a lot of established things, you already have all your friends, of course stay in Kronos without a doubt. It's worth it. It's worth suffering through the lag and all this stuff to stay in Kronos to play with your friends. Now, if you're somebody who's a new player, you don't have a community, you're looking for communities, then I do think Hyperion is a much better option than Kronos. All right, so let's talk about the main differences between Kronos and Hyperion. You just heard me say that even if you're a new player looking for a community, Hyperion is a better option. Now, this is just my opinion as somebody who plays on both servers since they came out and have been playing the servers constantly. Like I literally play on both. I've seen so many different communities. I've done baby early game shit. I've done end game shit. I really know how both of these servers work. So the thing that I've learned about MapleStory after all of these years is community is good on both servers because the community aspect is strictly dependent on what you make of it, right? So what I mean by that is it doesn't matter that Kronos has more people and it doesn't matter that Hyperion has less people. If you want to join a community, you have to put yourself out there and join a community. If you're just standing around, you don't talk to anybody, you don't talk to your boss party, you don't want to join Discords or anything like that, you're never going to join a community. It doesn't matter how many people there are. There's plenty of communities in Hyperion to join, and there's plenty of Kronos communities that you could join as well. Now, granted, not every community is perfect. You might have to try multiple times. You might not find one that works. You might find people annoying or whatever it takes. But the whole point is the argument of like, I'm going to play on Kronos because there's more people, meaning I could join a better community, is not necessarily true. It's based off of what you make of it, to be honest with you. Now, some of you might be a little silly and say, but you switched from Hyperion to Kronos. Why did you switch? Why did you switch from Hyperion to Kronos? You're a hypocrite. You're a liar. Why did you switch? Now, the reason why I play on Kronos as well as Hyperion, I play both. I didn't just 100% switch. I still play on both, is because there's one thing that Kronos does better than anything else, and it's the big C word. The big C word is Clout. Clout is like Kronos is king when it comes to Clout, and this is like undeniable. It is the absolute like monster when it comes to Clout. Now, what do I mean by Clout? I'm being a little silly, but there actually is reasoning to this. So first of all, I am a content creator for this game. I make YouTube videos. I stream almost every single day. Because Kronos has a higher population, that means there's a higher likelihood that I could interact with my own community in game by playing on Kronos. That's the main reason why I also play on Kronos, is just so I can be more involved with my community. That's literally the whole point. So there's more moments. There's more moments that could happen on Kronos with people. There's more things that people can link in chat. There's more people that can come to your map and stuff like that. So that's the main reason for Kronos. That's the main reason I play on Kronos. But when it comes to Clout, it's true. Now, the thing is, because Kronos has been around for a lot longer, there's more people that are on it, right? So there's more opportunity to get attention on you because there's more people. Now, this is going to sound kind of sad, but it's just the truth. Like, a lot of people on this game want attention. Like, it's just a very natural thing. And where are you going to get the most attention? You're going to get more attention playing on Kronos because there's more people. There's more people that are going to react when you smega something that's really cool, like a 22-star item, some rare items. There's going to be more people that are going to debate you if you say something dumb, or there's more people that you can clout farm off of. All that stuff is just true on Kronos. So if that's your goal, like your goal is like, I want to be the center of attention, then Kronos is the perfect place to play. And I know you're probably sitting here like, why the fuck is this guy even talking about this? But yo, you'd be surprised how many people actually really care about this. So that's why I'm bringing it up. Anyways, the next thing let's talk about is bossing. So what's bossing like on both servers? So again, I'm somebody who has bossed from level 1 to level 290, got to endgame on both servers. I know how the bossing scene looks like. Now, you might think that bossing is actually easier on Kronos. Now, it's not that simple. Bossing is easier and harder at the same time on Kronos than it is on Hyperion. Now, why would bossing on Kronos be harder if there's more people on it? Well, that's exactly why it's harder, is because there's more people on it. So if I look at the boss recruit tab here, and let's just look at these numbers. It says green blink, level 272, 63 mil CP. I mean, this guy's pretty strong. This guy's 81 mil, right? And this guy's 35. So we have 2 people in this party that can solo the boss, right? Now, just keep that in mind. We're gonna get back to this. This guy, box only. So he's 94 mil. He can solo. 21, 15. I mean, these guys can't solo, but they're tagging along for the box. Normal Damien struggle. This guy's 6.3 mil CP. He can easily solo it. Now, this is not to call anybody out in particular or be like, oh my God, look at these guys, they're noobs. No, not at all. The point that I'm trying to make is on Kronos, because the culture is very much set as like, I don't want to necessarily struggle, less struggle-oriented bossing on Kronos. It creates this dynamic of if you were to boss through the party finder, you're probably going to need to be much higher spec on your character to actually get into a boss or to actually do a boss, which means that you're going to be clearing a boss much later than you otherwise would have because the standards are higher since there's a lot more people. Now, something that I always hear from people whenever they say this is they say, but I don't want to min clear. Now, I'm not talking about min clearing. I get it. Min clearing bosses is a lot of effort. It takes a ton of time. So I'm not talking about min clearing. I'm talking about these people can solo the boss in 10 minutes or less, yet they choose to clear it in just 1 minute, right? Because that's what they want to do. So the difference from clearing a boss in like 10 minutes and the difference from clearing a boss in like 1 minute is a huge, huge difference when it comes to funding on this game. So let's say you want to do Vihila. If you're running Vihila at like, let's say 70 mil CP, you can probably clear the boss in like 15 minutes. Just give or take a little bit. You could probably do like 15 to 18-minute clear. But for a lot of people, they don't want to do that. Like, it's just too much of a struggle. So instead, this person is going to join a 6-man party, and he's probably going to clear it in like 1 to 2 minutes. Now, if this person is going to keep being used to doing Vihila at like 70 mil CP in a 6-man party with 1 to 2 minute clear, his likelihood of getting drops is going to lower a lot. By drops, I mean like Daybreak and Source, because he's blinking with a bunch of other people, right? The likelihood of you getting the non-instance loot is just much lower. He's also not going to be used to doing solo bossing, so he's going to need a lot more practice in the future. And he's going to be used to doing these bosses very quickly, so he's probably not going to know the boss mechanics that well. So when he does get to the point of practicing, he's going to want to do it at a much higher spec because it's more comfortable for him. And the thing about progression on this game is it's not linear. You do progression in this game in stages. You'll go from 5 mil CP to 15 mil to 30 mil, right? And then you'll maybe go to 60 and then like 90. Now, the reason why it's like this is because of events. Let's say there's like a 510, 15, and then let's say there's like a shining, and then like you have to wait for another event and so on, right? The progression system in this game is not linear, so you go by events. Now, what's interesting is this person who solos at 70 mil CP, they could get this same clear time of a 15-minute run if they started bossing at 15 mil CP with 6 people as well. So if they did a 6-man at 15 mil, they would still get that same exact boss clear time. So the whole point that I'm trying to say is because the standards on Kronos are higher, you're going to be clearing your bosses much later than you would have if people just wanted to run not one burst runs. If people just didn't want to one burst everything, then you would clear your bosses way, way, way earlier in your progression, like at this point, instead of having to wait until here, which could be months because you wait for events. So you'll be doing your bosses way earlier. The chances of getting drops is way higher. Now, I hope that made sense. I know it might have been a little confusing, but long story short is Hyperion is easier to get into struggle parties with because more people are down to try because there's less people on the server. So you're down to try. They're also down to rerun more. Whereas in Kronos, like usually you'll just get your run eaten if you die, but in Hyperion, they're more likely to rerun. So bossing is easier yet harder on Kronos. It could be also easier because there's more people. So you could just create a pug, one burst the boss and leave, right? But it could also be easier in a sense on Hyperion because you'll run the boss much earlier into your progression. Now, I don't want to also make it seem like you can't do that on Kronos. You obviously could run your bosses at lower spec also on Kronos, like without a doubt, you could do that. But typically people wouldn't know that, because a lot of people, when they want to figure out how strong they need to be to run a boss, you're just going to click this and be like, oh, this guy's like around 40 mil CP, then maybe I should start doing hard will when I'm around 40 mil CP. But in reality, you could probably get a very similar clear time, almost the exact same clear time as this, if you were to run at like 25 mil CP, which means you are 15 mil less funded, yet you're clearing the same boss in a similar clear speed. It's very interesting. If you're on the Hyperion world, you'll see that people are doing these bosses at lower spec, so then you'll think, oh, maybe I could do it at that spec too. Now, some of you might be watching this thinking like, oh, but are there even parties in Hyperion? Now, there are parties in Hyperion. Now, to be fair, it's not as much as Kronos. Of course not. Kronos has more people, so of course there's going to be more parties, but you could definitely find parties on Hyperion. I've done my own pug parties all the time, every week on multiple characters, even off stream. There's no like, oh, it's because you're on stream, people just join. No, not really. Like, I've done it also off stream as well, and people will join. They will join your pug party. The only difference on Hyperion is you're going to have to create your own boss recruit. You're going to have to do it yourself. Like, if you just sit around and wait, then it's going to be hard to get a party because there's just less people, so the chance isn't there. Basically, what I'm saying is, like, Hyperion, there's less buses that come by, right? Like, if you're waiting for the bus. But if you just are the bus driver yourself, like, you create the bus and do it, people will be there waiting and they'll join. Now, this isn't like speculation. I'm telling you, as somebody who plays on both servers, this is what I've seen. This is how it is. This is not like just based off of nothing, because a lot of people love to talk about Hyperion, but they've never played on it before. So how would they know anything, right? Now, the next thing is farming. This is a big one. So farming on Kronos versus farming on Hyperion. Now, farming on Hyperion, the reason why it's better is because there's higher burning. Now, you might think like, oh, but if more people move to Hyperion, then the burning is going to go down. Of course it will go down, of course, because there's going to be more people. But I don't think it's enough to diminish this burning aspect that Hyperion has. Hyperion has burning in almost every single map, even the popular maps. It's also easier to find a map. It's way easier to find a map on Hyperion because there's less people. So you don't have to CC and change channel all the time just so you can get people to boss with you. Whereas farming on Kronos, there's no burning, meaning that your farming rates are literally a little bit slower than Hyperion, and it's harder to find a map. How many times have you guys cycled SR2 and all these popular maps like Winter 4 and you just can't find a map because you just can't? There's too many people, right? It's overpopulated, by Nexon's own words. So for me, when I analyze these differences, you have community, you have bossing, and you have farming. To me, it just makes sense that a lot of people, especially new players, should be playing on Hyperion. Now, of course, there's less people, and just by optics, when you create this server and you start playing the game, you're going to choose Kronos because there's more people on it naturally. I would do the same thing, right? If I was a new player and I didn't know anything, I would just choose a server that had more people, of course. But I think Hyperion's benefits heavily outweigh Kronos' benefits for most new people, and especially people who don't really have anything really established. Like, if you're somebody who just logs in, plays, maybe you watch some streams, maybe you watch some videos, and maybe you have like a small friend group, consider moving to Hyperion, because I think the less lag, easier to find in maps, all that stuff is I think it's definitely worth it, to be honest with you. Now, there's another thing about Hyperion that I think could give you guys maybe like less anxiety about moving, is I think Hyperion is more future-proof than Kronos. Now, what does that mean, future-proof? I think Hyperion has a lot more room to grow. Now, the reason why I say that is because Hyperion only has 20 channels, whereas Kronos has 40 channels. Now, I think if they wanted to increase the channels on Kronos, they probably would have done that instead of create a Hyperion world. So I don't know if they're going to increase channels on Kronos. Whereas Hyperion, I'm very confident that if Hyperion kept growing, they would give Hyperion 30 channels. Bara got 30 channels. I remember when Kronos only had 20 and then eventually got 30. And if Hyperion keeps growing even more, it'll get 40 channels. So I could definitely see that happening. So I think Hyperion is more future-proof in that sense when it comes to lag, that it won't be as laggy as Kronos, or it would take at least a very long time to get there. So just to summarize what we talked about so far, because I know I've been yapping a lot, if you're somebody who's new, I think you should definitely go to Hyperion, especially if you're playing on the Challengers World in this upcoming event. If you're somebody who doesn't have really much of an established community, or you hate the lag and rollbacks of Kronos, then you should definitely move to Hyperion. But if you're somebody who already has everything on Kronos, all your friends are here, you're already super established, you should definitely just stay on Kronos, without a doubt. But I also create this video to educate you guys. Maybe you're on Kronos, maybe you know know somebody that could benefit from playing in Hyperion, go for it. I know it's a joke, it's a meme, and this video is probably going to get a lot of people disagreeing with me, but I mean, this is just my opinion. This is my opinion from playing on both servers since they came out, and I think Hyperion truly is better for a lot of people. I think it really is. There actually is one more thing that there's actually one more thing that I want to talk about when it comes to Hyperion and Kronos, is the possibility of getting cross-world bossing. Now, cross-world bossing is a thing that is in other servers that has already been implemented, and it's something that also got announced in the Korean server again just a couple days ago, where cross-world server bossing is going to be expanded from Lotus and Damien and above. So what that means is, if over here on the global MapleStory server, if we get cross-world bossing, I think the benefits of Hyperion just severely outweigh Kronos, because you're going to be playing on a server that has an easier time farming, and the bossing is going to be equalized because you could just boss with people from Kronos anyways. It doesn't matter. And then it just comes down to where you want to be in terms of friends, and that's it. So I think the Hyperion value exponentially increases if cross-world bossing comes. And me, if I were to bet money on it, I do think it's going to come. There's been other things that we've been extremely doubtful of that required custom developmentation from GMS, and we still got those. So I think we're going to get cross-world for sure. But anyways, I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video. I really, really do. Let me know what you think about this, like in a comment down below. Am I a dumbass? Like, do I not know what the fuck I'm talking about? Like, I'm just the stupidest person on earth? Or did I cook with this video? Or maybe at the end of the day, like, nothing I said matters. Anyways, appreciate you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Shout out to my members: Blazefire, Shooms, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Koga, Skittles, Dante Victory, CK, Jay, Kyle, Vampiric X, Fresh and Juicy, Assassin, Henzo, Henrique, and Kelvin. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you everybody who submitted fan art. You can always submit it in the Discord, and it'll be put at the end of every video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.